another Valentines unit we have here called Cestina, a water god unit with a 6-star defense slot where you could plop any sustain equip for whatever stage you were doing. So something like Mirrorhood for burn stage and etc. for whatever. Her second slot is a 5-star physical slot where running a nice APS equip like Izanagi is quite solid here. Her last is a 4-star defense slot where something similar to the 6-star defense slot is nice. In the LP7 she gains a 4-star support slot where it isn't necessarily worth getting her there, but if you did, because I know you Cestina lovers exist, running Arc Ignite is a solid option. Onto her skill set. Her skill deals 2000% water physical damage and heals her own HP by 20%, and for 10 seconds she increases her own arts by 4 on a 12-second CT. So basically a 40 art skill with an added on self-heal. But obviously instant arts gen is usually better, but nonetheless it's still a solid skill. Her arts deals 17,000% water physical damage and increases allies' arts by 25, and for 20 seconds increases allies' attack and defense by 50%. Basically a very solid team support skill, so spam if you need arts gen cause it's a solid art. Her true art deals 40,000% water physical damage, and for 35 seconds she redirects all damage taken and gains a damage barrier that negates 36,000 damage. Compared to other taunt tanks like Thetis and Kirasame, it's much better than Thetis' barrier. Only downside of this true art is probably the fact that there's no damage res on top of it. Her super art deals 80,000% water physical damage, and for 60 seconds she increases all allies damage res and magic res by 20%, and allies gain a barrier that negates 6,000 damage. Well, that's where her damage res is at, and it's clearly focused around magic damage bosses. So when you're against physical damage bosses, there's probably a better option. The team barrier is also kind of weird as she's already a taunt tank, but I guess if you're facing like a taunt killer, you could just spam the super art instead of the true art, and she could act as a budget 0 replacement or something. Also quite a low multiplier, but it's to be expected from a tank because Kirasame also has like similar multipliers. Her first ability increases her own paralysis res by 100%, so this is solid for taunt tanks, and if they're disabled, they're quite useless, so it's really good. Unfortunately, there's no freeze res, but paralysis probably happens more often. I don't know. Her second ability increases her own arts by 6 per second when near death. This is a really good self-APS skill, though the condition for reaching near death can be hard to get without an equip that consumes HP. She'll probably work well with a near-death comp, though by all means, this ability does not need to be prioritized in any means. Her third ability heals her own HP by 100%, and for 10 seconds increases her own damage res by 20% once a quest. Well, that contradicts her entire second ability. To get the value of the second passive, you're gonna need to get to near-death like twice. Though of course, if you ignore her second ability, this passive can come in clutch in some hard content, and acts as a pseudo self-revive. When it comes to Crest, I choose Defense Up and Truth of Eternity as my main crest, but some other ones would be Equip CT Recovery, Magic Circuit, any resistance crest for a specific stage you might want to use her. As for team recommendations, she would work exceptionally well with the Mono Water team as a replacement for Shiro if you lack it. But since she has nothing to do with elements, she works well with any team as a taunt unit. Overall, I would say that she is a great taunt tank, especially if you're missing one. Other than that, if you own Kirasame and units like that, you can safely skip her banner. But that doesn't answer whether or not you want Valentine's Lisa. So, you'll see that in the next guide, which should be coming the next day after this guide comes out. By the way, we have guides for Valentine's Miranda and Priscilla, so you can check those out in the description down below. But I would do a multi for Priscilla because she's a solid healer and art getter. So, I'll see you guys in the Valentine's Lisa guide. So, see you all soon.